Hi, been a while since I put a video out, so I thought I'd do a quick one for you this morning. I'm back down at the Woodland Retreat in Cardiff. Got a healing to do this morning. Not a particularly busy day today, which is nice. Nice to have a little bit of a relaxing morning before coming in. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about how we ultimately deplete our energy, our vitality, our chi. Shamans call it Windhorse, okay? And particularly in times like this, times like COVID, times like, major changes on the planet, major shifts in people's potential consciousness, major shifts in political landscapes, familial landscapes, deep change, let's call it, there can be a tendency to suffer from fatigue and burnout because there's so much going on. If we're not cognizant of where we're hooking in and giving our energy and our attention, we get drained very quickly. And it's kind of designed that way, really, because nothing exists in and of itself within this natural process of life without energy, right? And typically things feed off each other. So when we're aware of that, when we can set appropriate boundaries, when we're very when we have a very developed center that ultimately creates a creative focus in us, we tend to become less distracted by background noise. We only deal with the things that are affecting us directly, okay? The thing is, nowadays, there's quite a lot of things going on that could potentially affect us directly or are affecting us directly at the moment. And this creates an energy sink. This creates a need for some kind of attention of ours to not necessarily fix the situation, but to adapt, to manage, to change within ourselves and to change maybe some external circumstances so that we can continue to hopefully thrive through life rather than, suffer too much. And there are obviously beings and people out there that aren't thriving at the moment, that are suffering, that are losing jobs, that are losing businesses, that are going into various rabbit holes. And we can only help in that respect if we've got our shit together. All right, so if we've got our center, if we have our boundaries set, if we understand our place in this grand web, and we understand how to feed and nurture and nourish ourselves first, then we can do something to really make a difference and help. But if we're coming at it from a position of lack, or if we're coming at it from a position of fatigue, lack of vitality, distraction, sympathy, too much empathy, all this kind of stuff, then we will soon get eaten alive. We will soon end up becoming devoured by the monster. Okay, I think Nietzsche said once in his philosophies, he said, is it better to out-monster the monster, or is it better to be quietly devoured? Now, whatever your view on that, and that's something you might want to contemplate, out-monstering the monster requires energy. Becoming devoured means you end up dying or don't exist, and you don't thrive. So we have to learn how to strike a balance and manage our chi, manage our Windhorse, manage our positive energy and our positive karma. Okay? And there's little things that you can do daily to help you gain more Windhorse, gain more vitality and gain more positivity. And the best thing to do is to be out in nature. And I'm not this morning because I would be, because it's a beautiful sunny day. But where I'm at the moment, they're doing some building work and it's all really noisy. So I wanted to do this video, so I thought I'd come into my little therapy space and do a little video here. So there's the altar that I've set up, and there's my little couch and blanket and whatnot, all ready for the clients. And Yeah, raising Windhorse, little things you can do. So the top thing, all right, number one on the list is get out in nature, wherever that may be, and connect with Mother Earth, put your feet in the ground, breathe deeply, commune with the natural environment, the sea, the beach, the forests. They contain a naturally higher level of chi, a higher level of activated prana, okay? And when we breathe that in consciously, when we intend to breathe that in and work with that energy, and almost sometimes visualize that energy coming into us and through us, then we replenish our Windhorse, we replenish our chi, okay? So it's very important to remember that we are physical animals, yeah, who are part of the natural environment, not separate from it. And so much of our lifestyles nowadays have separated us from our birthright, which is our connection with nature, our synchronistic connection with nature. So raising Windhorse, very important. Because your Windhorse relates to the vital body. It relates to your energy system. It relates to everything that flows through you to animate yourself physically. Spirit requires Windhorse, requires chi energy to manifest. Okay. So another thing you might be able to do is do a little ritual every day. Do a small spiritual ritual, and it could be lighting a candle. Okay, I haven't lit my candle yet because it's not going to be a while until my client arrives. But lighting a candle, sitting in front of it, or kneeling in front of it, or meditating in front of it, and just remembering, using that candle and that candle flame as a process of remembering who you really are, beyond the physical body, beyond the thoughts, the emotions, the life situations. It's about reconnection. And when you remember, you naturally raise your positive Windhorse. You connect to the spirit inside you. You connect to God, right? And so a daily ritual like that can remind you that no matter how tough the day is, there's always a space in you that is okay. There's always a space in you that you can rely on, okay, and that can nourish you, okay. So a little ritual like lighting a candle, or saying a prayer, or reciting a mantra, okay, or maybe even playing a drum, okay. You can play a drum. You can grab a drum, and let me see if I'll just grab my drum quickly. 2 seconds. Just move the phone. So there's plenty of drums out there on the market. All right, this is my Remo drum. So this isn't an animal skin. This is a vegetarian skin. And I like this drum because it performs as soon as you want to play with it. Okay, some animal skin drums, they don't perform so quickly because the skin isn't tight enough around the hoop. But this drum is my main tool for when I work with healing, okay? Or one of my tools that I work with healing. But just sitting with a drum, whatever it might be, or a rattle, okay? Steady beat, steady rhythm, close your eyes, use that as a centering point for your consciousness. Use that as a remembering point. Intend to raise your Windhorse, okay? It doesn't have to be all posh and too lively. Something steady and almost still in its own right can help you remember and intend that chi flows through you more effectively, and that you attract Windhorse to you. Playing a drum with just a steady rhythm. And allowing that rhythm to not necessarily completely alter your state of consciousness, but the more you tune in to the rhythm of the drum, the more you can develop a slightly altered state of consciousness, which can take you into a deeper aspect of yourself, okay? Again, with the intention of raising Windhorse, you could almost walk around the 4 directions, okay, and say a blessing or a prayer to the directions. Ask for the energy of the directions to feed your drum, okay? And as you're working with the drum, yeah, absorbing that Windhorse, you can place it on your chest, okay, and bring in that Windhorse. So you're doing that intentional healing for yourself. You're generating Windhorse through the activity, through the prayer, through the ritual, and then you're intending that it comes into you, okay, and it raises your vitality. These things might not seem, might seem a little bit magical and mystical, but that's what they are. You know, that's what life is. Life is a mystery, and the more we can learn how to slow down and maybe ritualize our life a little bit more, the more we will find that our vitality increases. Yeah, vitality increases through actually slowing down and becoming stiller and reconnecting. Okay, so yeah, drum or rattle, all right? So if you haven't got a drum or a rattle and you fancy getting one, plenty on the market. Okay, and better still, if you know someone who makes drums or runs little workshops, go and make your own, because that's always fun to do as well. And if you want to message me privately, I know various people who make shamanic tools that I can recommend to you if you're interested. How else can we raise Windhorse? Certain shamanic traditions, Mongolian, Tibetan, use tolis or mirrors, shamanic mirrors. And these mirrors either reflect or absorb positive energy or reflect potentially negative energy. But again, a little ritual with a mirror, okay, a toli, where you ask the spirits of the 4 directions to charge your mirror up with Windhorse. And similarly to the drum, bring it to you, place it to your chest, okay, place it to an aspect of your body that you might feel might need a bit more energy. It could be your navel center, it could be your solar plexus, it could be the heart, it could be the throat, yeah, it could even be the mind, all right? So again, little tools in and of themselves are just that, they're just tools, but the soul, brings life to these objects through ritual and through intention. And as we work with our tools in a certain way, they become part of our process. So they contain Windhorse too. They become alive, all right? So I look after my tools. I treat them like my kids. Sometimes I treat them better than my kids because they don't answer me back typically. But generally, you know, although healing isn't about the tools, by using the tools and using the altar and using certain ritualistic techniques, you can bring more intention and focus into the healing and therefore direct the energy more effectively within yourself, okay? You've got to become this hollow bamboo, right? And if we are full of Windhorse, full of vitality and full of positive energy, it doesn't matter what we encounter. Okay, if there's a lot of negativity around us, or if we're having to work within negative environments, there are times where we will be able to hold our own within that space. Okay, because we're really charged up. Yeah. So, how else do you raise Windhorse? Obviously, eating properly, doing exercise, looking after your body. Okay, it's not just about spiritual ritual and doing mantras and singing and all this kind of stuff. It's about basics, yeah, basic foundational looking after yourself. So processed foods take away Windhorse, yeah. Alcohol, one of the best ways of losing Windhorse is drinking alcohol. So as much as these pubs are being banned from selling alcohol now in restaurants, it's actually a good thing, okay? It's an opportunity to drink less. It's an opportunity to not use alcohol as an emotional crutch at times, which we do at times, because it depletes Windhorse. It steals that energy from you. Smoking, anything, you know, eating junk food, anything that makes you feel heavy, fatigued, numbed out, even smoking marijuana, okay? Some people might not agree with me, but any kind of plant-based medicine, all right, doesn't actually raise your Windhorse, okay? Might give you a temporary glimpse, or it gives you a bit of a kick, yeah? But unless you're working with yourself, working within yourself to keep your chi, your Windhorse high, yeah, it depletes pretty quickly as soon as you go back to the old patterns of behavior. Martial arts are a great way of raising Windhorse. A good martial art where you're working with your body and your mind, yeah, and your heart centers, where you're working with chi, okay, where you're working with posture, where you're working with your spine, where you're working with, the geometry of your body, that will help you transform, process, and retain Windhorse more effectively. All right? Lots of things you can do. Obviously, if you're working in an environment which is kind of office-like, lots of EMF around, lots of kind of, zzz kind of energy, which is coming from computers and Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. Again, that's a Windhorse stealer. That kind of reduces Windhorse. It attacks the electromagnetic fields of the body. It attacks you from the inside, and again, you can wear protective amulets for that. You can buy some shungite, wear it as an amulet. You can buy orgonite. You can buy other types of crystals that can kind of just transform some of that energy a little bit within your field around you, just to kind of lessen the effect. All right, so placing a nice quartz crystal or some shungite or something around your computers, mobile phones, or even better still, on your body. On this phone that I've got here, I've got a big slab of shungite behind it. So when I hold the phone, my hand's protected. Or if it's in my pocket, I always make sure the shungite is nearer my body, so it's blocking all that kind of that electromagnetic frequency and that radiation from entering my body. Okay. So there's little things you can do, wearing a little Toli mirror or wearing an amulet on some beads. Again, to remember, these things are a kind of a way of when you see them or when you feel them or touch them to your body, say, oh yeah, this is who I really am. Okay, yeah. There's spirit to think about first, and then everything else will happen. Okay, put the kingdom of heaven first, right, and all else shall be added unto thee. All right, so it's a remembering process. So amulets, crystals, things like that. I love all that kind of stuff. They're not the answer to. They don't get you enlightened, but they can certainly help you work through your physical existence in a more effective way, and they can act as a way to intend that more positive Windhorse, more positive chi is attracted to you. Yeah, the more you work on yourself positively, the more you create this flow of energy more effectively through you, the more you attract different, I would class as more positive and generative things in your life rather than degenerative things. We either generate, yeah, regenerate, genesis, yeah, or we degenerate, we devolve. And it's our choice. It's our choice. Everything we choose, everything we say, do, think, feel, act on, either has a generative, regenerative process or effect, or a degenerative effect on our lives. So the more we can become wise to that, and the more we can see that, then the, I suppose, easier it is the easier it's going to become to thrive. And thriving through tough times sometimes means actual simplicity and coming back to our roots, coming back to basic things like organizing your house nicely, yeah, making your bed in the morning, right, smudging the place regularly, which is another great way of getting rid of negative energy. Again, another word for that in shamanistic terms is grib, okay, crap. Getting rid of all that stagnant, heavy energy and crap with smudging. You can use different types of herbs to smudge with. I like to use, the good old-fashioned sage, and I grow sage in my garden. Sometimes I use my own sage. I grow lavender in my garden. I've used lavender when I dry it out. The best way to actually smudge, rather than taking a smudge stick, which does work, is to get a small frying pan or a little pot and put a charcoal disc at the bottom, light the disc, and just add little leaves of what you want to burn and just walk around the house with a feather, you know, and smudge away, okay? And sing a song while you're doing it, you know, sing a song of blessing, sing a song of bringing in Windhorse, make your own song up, doesn't matter. The intention is to commune with Spirit, is to communicate with Spirit, is to ask Spirit for help, is to ask Spirit for blessings, is to bring in Windhorse and Chi and to wake you up, yeah, and get you becoming more alive. So those are just a handful of things that you can do to kind of raise Windhorse, all right? Look at your vitality levels now, make some changes. You've got to take the action. Yeah? It doesn't happen automatically, all right? A bit like healing. You know, we can offer you a space to heal. There's various tools and techniques we can use to shift energy, move energy, help you understand yourself better. But ultimately the action, the determination, the commitment, the discipline, and the intention comes from you. So you are your own healer, all right? So yeah, there we are. Raising Windhorse, and have a Windhorse rich day. See you next time.